Love it. I love it. Okay, so because the computer's about to die, they're not getting that beautiful fancy camera. They're only gonna get the computer there. Anyway, so for those of you watching. Wait a second, hold on. Look at my. I feel like it's was a minute ago, but I'm saying my phone. I'll tell you that right now. The shades. So, scuba. You know Stephanie, who I met virtually, and my guy was like, he's right there. He's under here. This is what's so great about the virtual world. Yeah. My guy slash. Stephanie, I think so much, he talks about so much in his job, they're always, so he looked to him and showed her, I guess she just got in place and everything's on the paper. And he's like, damn, and he's like, where'd you go? Damn, and she's and he pretty much drove me to go there. Mommy, you gotta mute yourself. Come on, mute yourself. Anyway, I'm reading this for the first time. You guys all know about her. My peeps, I'll tell you guys later about her. If they want to get started. But let me tell you, this place right here is a health and wellness facility. If you're on my Instagram, you'll see the whole place. It is gorgeous. And I'm just so grateful that she's here. Yeah. I'm a fitness professional, a life and health coach, and I was telling her that I wanted to do a Mother's Day event called Turn Your Tragedy into Triumph, because I've gone through a lot of tragedies. My son was murdered, I'll talk about that a little later. I know some women have lost their moms, so this day is not so happy for some people, but I like to turn things all the way around and make them positive. So we're gonna have her do this quick prayer. I'm gonna tell you a little my quick 7-minute story. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Toastmasters? Yeah. Okay. So Toastmasters is a group to help you with public speaking. One of my goals is to do a TEDx talk that's like a really big talk. Yeah. So I joined Toastmasters about 6 months ago, and they have this thing, they have a competition. And let's just say I'm up to the 3rd level now. So next week, and I'm flying to California to do this speech. I'm like, it's the perfect practice. So, let's get this prayer up here. Yes, we need. Well, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Dr. Patrice is here. Y'all know Patrice. Yeah. We're gonna keep removing. Also. Hallelujah to the King of Kings. Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you that this day that you have made us shall rejoice and be glad in it. Father, thank you for the food. Thank you for the fellowship. Thank you for the poor that is coming, God. Thank you for this place that Dancing Without Sin Fitness Center is a place of healing. Yes. Father, that we take dominion right now and authority over that, and we receive your healing, God. We ask that you bless the visionary and you bless the food, that it will fill our bodies, it will fill our souls. God, we bind all sickness, illness, infirmity, death, cholesterol, and fats. In Jesus' name. So I should have thought about virtual and in-person events don't really mesh. So I did have a speaker who spoke earlier. I recorded her, but I just want to tell you a snippet about her. I met her about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm sure everyone here has heard of Trayvon Martin. Right. So his mother is Sabrina Fulton. My daughter is a professional dancer, and she knew his cousin. Long story short, every year she has an event, Mother's Day weekend or around Mother's Day time, for mothers who have lost a child. So I went about 5 years ago, and it changed my life tremendously. And I met this woman. The woman I met Her son just graduated from college. He went to Greece to celebrate. He wanted to start a clothing line. While he was in Greece, he was at a club with some of his friends, and a Serbian woman asked him to take a selfie. He took the selfie, some guys got upset with him. They took him outside, about 9 or 10 men beat him to death. And everything was recorded. They see all their faces, they see everything. And no one's been, you know, what's the word? Prosecuted. Thank you. So she spoke earlier sharing how she turns her tragedy into a triumph, and she said pushing through her pain. And she left us with one thing that I want to share with you. And she talked about the power of forgiveness. It's so important to forgive, because when you forgive, you're really healing yourself. Not really, you know, for the other person, but it's really for yourself to forgive. So with that being said, I'm super grateful to be here today. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say a little bit about me.
We're ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So,
Me too.
you're taking it for today? All right, here we go. Now, I gotta tell you one thing before I do this speech, okay? So I had been practicing my regular speech for about 2 or 3 months. I won my last competition. I'm like, okay, do I get a coach? So I got a coach, and my coach chopped my speech to shreds. So I had to change the whole thing around the last of the competition. So everything I'm doing is all brand new. I stop the excuses. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. 20 years ago, I started and created my own modeling company called Elite Stars, while working my 9 to 5, wishing and hoping I could be a full-time entrepreneur. Have you ever accomplished a goal that required you to wake up at the crack of dawn, train for a whole year, or break old habits?
Yes.
For me, it was completing my first full marathon in the beautiful streets of Paris. I did it for that 14-year-old little girl that always wanted to go to Paris, that lives inside me, and to see that I could actually do it. When I crossed the finish line, I could barely get my arms over my head and realize that anything is possible with preparation, dedication, and hard work. Success and achieving your goals is an indescribable feeling. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. February 26, 2016, my don't stop believing mentality was tested. My daughter was a professional dancer with the NBA, and my son had 2 successful sneaker stores. This day, I was driving him to work, and we'd call these mommy-son times. And he was telling me about a story about his first store. I can't believe I spent all that money buying into that shop. I could have used it to buy more sneakers. 3 months into the business, we shut down. I was lost, I was embarrassed. Look at me now, 2 successful stores. I looked at him and I thought, you sure do have an attractive son. If you were in the car with me, you would feel the breeze go by your face, and you see the sun ray go right across his face, and he smiled at me with the most beautiful smile you've ever seen. He kissed me on the cheek, said, I love you, Mom, and jumped out the car. That memory is seared in my mind forever. You ready to hear about my half marathon? Ready, set, trigger warning, go. That night, around 9:15, I got a phone call from my daughter. At first, jumped in the car, ran down the street. I called Jamal, no answer. I called the police station and the fire department. They didn't have him. I even called the mayor of the town. Nothing. When I got there, I noticed the entire street was blocked off with yellow and black caution tape. In the distance, I could see police cars and fire trucks, and the street was filled with people all cramped up together. That is what it looked like. My daughter screamed, "What?" Emotions started bubbling up in my belly. remember thinking to myself, what is going on and where is my son? So I got out of the car and I started running down the street. The shop was only about 100 feet away, but it felt like an endless race. The door was locked and a police officer said, "You can't go in there." Cold, it was dark, and everyone was standing around like statues. I said, "Where is your mother?" And nobody would say anything. Have you ever had a situation and you really didn't know what was going on? Have you ever experienced that? Yeah. That's what I went through. I walked up to this police officer and he looked at me with the most hurtful expression in his eyes, as if he was thinking, I don't want to tell you this. I said, "Where is my son?" He looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, miss, your son is dead." My belly had empty feeling. I realized at that moment, my son was another statistic. Did you know that the CDC said that homicide is the leading cause of death for Black males ages 15 to 34? I realized I had to push through the pain and not stay paralyzed. We moved to the marathon phase. The next day, I got a phone call. "Hello, the sharing network, what is that? An organ donor company? My son was an organ donor?" That phone call lasted about 2 hours. I realized I had to make a difference in the world, so his death had significance. I remember the time we were in my modeling studio, the day it closed down because I couldn't afford the rent. And after we finished crying, he said, "All successful people fail, Mom. Did you know that Warren Buffett will only work with someone if they fail 5 times?" I was shocked, but it made me feel better. I have to say that because of the inspiration of my son, I was able to leave my 9 to 5, and now I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Exercise, yoga, and therapy help to keep me grounded and focused. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. I leave you with this medal. Okie dokie. I want you to recall a goal, something that you've always wanted. Dig deep, deep. Find out your why. And then make a plan. It's that simple. Once you do that, that's a great starting plan to get your future going. And let's all be like that song from Journey. Don't stop believing.